Hey guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. Can't we all just get along?
Yes.
All right. End of video.
Well, no, we have to discuss how and why and who and if and blackmail and because.
Right. Anyway, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Coggins. Stuart, what are we talking about today?
Peace with the Klingons being achieved so rushedly and coincidentally and conveniently and really quickly between 24 houses. See, that's what gets me. There was a fleet on its way to Earth. We know that there's 24 houses.
5 ships.
Well, it's 24 houses. One of them was sending ships to Earth.
They can spare a 1/8 of a ship each.
Yeah. I just don't buy the fact that because L'Rell threatened the homeworld that all the houses would immediately fall in line and decide, oh, well, we're just going to pull out of Federation space and look like cowards. It just doesn't fall in line with Klingon ideology. Well, not that any of the Klingon actions in Discovery really do. But I'm just saying. It was really convenient and really kind of rushed in the last episode, the piece.
I mean, these Klingons are probably the worst Klingons we've seen, but...
Seen and seen.
Yes. But maybe, since we are still years away from the first time we see Klingons in TOS, maybe this is the Great Enlightenment, these 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You know, a decade is we're all different to how we were a decade ago. So you can imagine that this is the thing that politically charged them and gave their culture a renaissance. That's why they're so crappy and evolve into someone a bit more civilized.
Interestingly enough, yesterday on Space, they were playing TOS, as they do, and it was Aaron of Mercy. And I can't remember it. Oh, I'm going to get roasted for that. Anyway, the Klingon makes a great speech talking about how they are a unified people and how they act as a whole for the preservation of their culture and all this. So that's only a few years after this. So I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it could potentially tie them together, this bomb in their planet. Just saying. But it just seems a little forced and contrived to me.
It's also doubly down that that Kronos is the capital, but each house, his home planet, isn't going to be Kronos. It just isn't. They're going to have different colonies, different planets, different ones they call their home. My second and third and fourth beach houses on Kronos Minor, Golater and Jibberwocky, whatever. No, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, yes, they destroyed the homeworld of our people, but I only have a 10% stake in Kronos. I mean, that's not my primary thing. None of my shipbuilding facilities there. I mean, obviously some are. It's a big empire, but yeah, some houses would be only minimally affected, and the sliding slant of how much. And Giorgio specifically did say that there would be time for Klingons to escape, because in her reality, she was attacking them as they escaped. So, the High Council will get out, the leaders will get out, the war chiefs, the ships will be able to take off. So, a mass evacuation, maybe not civilians, not civilians, but, you know what I mean? There'll still be this exodus from the homeworld, and certainly enough time to beam up your valuables. So and consider who L'Rell is as well. She's not exactly the most famous, well-known. I mean, does anyone even know who she is? She was an underling of Cole when he was the taking over everyone person for a bit. And then before that, she was a Takuvma lackey / House de Gaulle, something else, another house. But she chose to be on that side of the fence, So, I mean, she's no one special, and yes, okay, son of no one can be important, and I mean, Martok became from poor person, head of the Klingon Empire, so that's not the problem. It's just you're also blackmailing them, and who took over? Well, no, I guess no one took over. It would have made more sense if she'd said, right, the current leader of the strongest faction is in this house building. She goes in, stabs him, as they do and often in Klingon, and say, right, I've killed the leader, I'm the big baddie, and I'm going to blow up the entire planet. So I've killed the personal and the planetary. Listen to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's interesting because, she had the pad that was coded to her DNA with the detonation button. And she gives her speech that, Takuvama wanted us to be united and blah, blah, blah. And everyone laughs at her. And she holds up the pad and goes, hey. And then all of a sudden, everybody falls in line, apparently. Now, true, it's coded to her DNA to set it off. Mm-hmm. So kill her and then lock it in a box. Or just destroy the pad.
Yeah, or do a jamming signal in the building she's in so he can't send any signals in and out and then just shoot her. And then eat her. Because they eat things. It's a very... for any good Klingon, that's an easy solution easy problem to get around. And that was not the council chamber of Kronos. I refuse to acknowledge that because it's ridiculous. It's just caves. So it's probably like some secondary private meeting area with, representatives that were willing to come see her. It's like a secondary, more informal location. But still, she managed to get in. She managed to, be respected enough to be able to call this meeting. She has no authority. She's not a torchbearer. She's not, yes, she's the last of Takuvama's thing, but Takuvama was not exactly respected.
Exactly.
And
even if Vok or Tyler did an audio message to the houses saying, "I am Vok."
Kailash sent me.
That's really good, actually. Torchbearer for Kailash, for Takuvama. You do it so well. I should just have you do it. He could literally send an audio message and be this faceless Klingon. To bring them all together to listen to her as his representative.
How amazing would it have been, right, in that scene because obviously she's not... Okay, no, I guess they are rushed. The whole tension thing, if the ships are heading to Earth and they were at Earth's door, this whole thing had to happen, but she had to then order them to stop. So we never got a sense of how close, except, close, but they were still travelling slow enough. And even the Borg cube that was travelling slow enough got attacked by multiple defence platforms. Why is the Klingon fleet not getting attacked by multiple defence platforms? And if they are, they'll have bloodlust to keep going. Again, it's poorly thought out, blah, blah, blah. So she had to quickly find a payphone that sends to everyone in the Empire, call the Empire, tell them to get there now. They're like, who is this? Takuvama's last servant. Don't care, we're busy. Nah, I got Torchbearer, you're coming anyway. Prove it. Nah, he can't talk right now, he's busy doing something else. Torchbearer stuff. And then they all arrive, just in the nick of time, for her to get there, light all the fires, and say, look, and now get... if the ships weren't on the way to Earth, or like they were a week away or a day away, how cool would it have been to see... Because again, the episode was kind of short. It could have been longer. How great would it have been to see them quickly... Even the tattoo parlor, maybe it changes to a surgical, and you see Vok Tyler having classical ridges being put on, and the hair, and then... So he's that in-between step, as he would be in every other part of Trek if he was a Klingon. And then he's the one that introduces her in Klingon in the classical makeup, but like an in-between step, saying, "I am a torchbearer, you must listen to me. Here is Laurel." And then that would have been cool because he has some authority in the the minimalist sense of the word. If you give a damn about Takuvama, that would have been interesting. Especially back from the dead in a sense because everyone thought he was gone.
And I've been infected by the augment virus. That's why I look mainly human. But
you could
that would have been fantastic, actually. We're going to talk more about the Vok Tyler future with Laurel in another episode. Yes. But even in our review, we one of the things we thought would be cool was to have her be on board Discovery, which she was. She was in the brig. And have them spore into Earth.
Yep.
Right in front of the fleet, and then address the fleet going... I have this pad. It can destroy Kronos. I want to unite the houses. That would have at least been more dramatic and made more sense than just this speech in a cave to a few representatives. And then as the next thing you see 5 ships approaching Earth and just peel off. That would have been much more impactful and much more realistic to me than what actually happened in the show. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many convenient things that happened in that episode to really tie things up quickly You could tell they wrote themselves into a corner and wanted out of it really quick.
Honestly, Brian Fuller's original plan was, a few episodes in, get to Mirror Universe, then have that reveal, then come back and then do this-ish, the piece.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd done that way around, rather than have the very underwhelming and poorly written filler, those 3 or 4 episodes, Mirror Universe much quicker, and then 4 episodes of this. Ooh. And every episode they're saying, our long-range sensors say the Klingons are 6 days away from Earth, 4 days away from Earth, 1 day away from Earth.
They've destroyed the Jupiter outpost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or okay, this 100 AUs is that starbase. I mean, if it's truly 100 AUs, then the distance from there to Earth by the Klingons in that fleet is going to be minutes. So there's so much threat. There's no threat. Because they should already be at Earth instantly. There's so many problems with this show. And it's all in the writing, because the writing set the CG, set the pace, set the tone. It's all in the writing. And that's the people writing it, unfortunately. Not people for the job. Sorry, guys. And the rushed schedule. Whatever. There's ways you could have done the whole peace thing better. Because the plan itself kind of can work.
Yeah.
But also really not. I mean, why can't they send a probe down to pick out the bomb? Why can't they disable the, just stop all signals, as I already said? Why can't they...
Well, if you say the probe going to stop the bomb, then people will say, well, as Tilly said, because they're active volcano caverns, it would destroy the drone.
Well, the bomb
I
got
don't
down
understand
there
why.
fine.
Exactly. I was going to say, I don't know how explosive got down there with the heated volcanic ash and gas that is down there.
If a bomb can get down there, a probe can get down there. And if you can't, you build a better probe. Because the bomb can't just build the probe out the same thing the bomb's made of. That's fine. Again, very, this is a problem for the Klingon Empire for all of a week. Seriously. Seriously. I mean, you can't imagine, right? I mean, how... time travel, all this... Imagine if the world was a TV show in and of itself and we could do whatever we want, or a holodeck simulation. Imagine if suddenly a lost TNG deleted scene was found when Picard was, first in the council chamber, and Duras is pulls him off to the side and says, "Look, Picard, my ancestors planted the bomb that has Kronos under our fingertips. We are in control because of this bomb." And Picard's like, "No, we put that there. What do you mean? What? Yeah. Just this stupid little, put this beat back in of this stupid plot device that happened 150 years earlier. Just doesn't. I don't know. But that said, look at the last place we saw L'Rell, Tyler Vok, and Burnham on Kronos. No weapons, not out, and L'Rell was fine waiting in the background. Like, she is obviously not confrontational at that point to Starfleet.
Even though she just had the crap kicked out of her by the Empress.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, that wasn't Starfleet. Whatever, you could get behind that. Do you think now that L'Rell, because, she was never in it for the power. Like, that's kind of nice. I'm intrigued that she's now become the one in charge through terrible means. But if she is going to be now the High Chancellor or whatever, does that mean that she is not favourable, but does she feel like she owes the Federation? Because she does. I mean, 100% she owes them, her power.
Well,
will this lead to, what, Federation? You do you. We owe that to you.
I think so, because the conversation she had with Cornwall the episode prior, she said, Takuvama taught us that all humans were cowards. I have since seen this is not the case. So I think she's earned some respect from probably Saru, because Saru did confront her and actually was quite blunt with her, with Tyler, and also from Cornwall. I think she's got enough respect for the Federation now, or at least some of its representatives, that she knows Takuvama's message isn't 100% accurate, that, the Federation just wants to homogenize everybody. I think she understands that, and yes, I think that would move forward with the Federation kind of at that Cold War status, like, all right, don't piss us off. I mean, like I said earlier, Errand of Mercy, the war had just started in Errand of Mercy. It lasted like a day, and then the Orions stepped in and said, no, you're not fighting. No mention was made of another war, so the continuity's already screwed up. But I think that Cold War status in 8 to 10 years could definitely be because of L'Rell's respect for the Federation and her time in the brig. Because she did, have that head-to-head with Cornwall. And, yeah, sure, the Empress went in and kicked the crap out of her. But, yeah, like you said, that's not our, from our universe. So
probably enjoyed the challenge. It's like, oh, cool. This was a different day, not the same boring old brig. But it's worth it's worth saying that she might be in charge, but she has no leadership ability specifically. She's not necessarily going to be a good leader, and she's a weak-ish Klingon in terms of she's not the most aggressive. She's not the most the fact that she wanted to escape her plan was subterfuge and lies, and she's that part of that house. She's a very unusual Klingon in that respect, which is probably the Empire needs. But if you think long play, and she did think long play, she was a strategist, which I think is worth remembering. Yes, every other house that we know of wants to kick the Federation's ass, and their bloodlust isn't going to be stopped by her saying stop. That's not how those feelings work. If they respect her enough or blackmail enough, they'll stop. But her argument, so I just want to finish the point, her argument, unity means that if we unify and in 10 years become so strong we can destroy the Federation outright, that's the plan. She's not peace with them. She's saying we need to be unified. If we can get unified, our forces can decimate, but all of the percentage, the Federation. That's what we still want to do. But unification comes first.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said at the beginning of this, 24 houses, sure, maybe 20 of them have enough honor or respect that they would fall in line and maybe agree. But you're going to have those rogue elements. You're going to have those few that just want power, and they've already confiscated some Federation starbases or whatever, or some colonies. They're not going to give those up just to come back, and it's still going to be a fight to get them off the planets, either from the Federation side of it or from the Klingon side of it, going, guys, you gotta concede here. You gotta get rid of. You gotta fall back. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna have every 24 house fall in line as easily as it appeared that happened. There will be rogue elements. That's just the way that power corrupts people. Yeah. Especially when you have the upper hand.
You were the last checkmate play.
Yeah, you're moving into Federation space. You're carving it up. You're not going to want to give up everything that your house has already obtained to another Klingon house or a Klingon. I don't buy the whole wrapped up in a neat little bow peace treaty that happened in that last episode.
Well, each house has a different amount to lose by Kronos. The house has the least to lose. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why would they stop? And certainly in a bow, it just had to finish. And I don't, peace treaty, is that the right word? It would have been nice to have seen Cornwall, again, this next show will be longer, Cornwall and L'Rell having one final chat before she beams off Discovery saying, look, we know you can't go in with a peace treaty because that would show a lot of weakness on your side. You've got to be strong, but have you got this womanly agreement? This is an official ceasefire. You're going to give us back our territory. Because that's the question. Have we just lost 20% of our territory? All those people that are now under Klingon rule, we know that Klingon rule isn't the most pleasant. I doubt they're going to send, after this war, that the Klingons were winning almost every single step of the way, and at least half winning. We're not going to be able to send emissaries to Kronos and say, hey guys, we want to negotiate. It's like, why? Because the Federatians didn't win the war, but L'Rell forced the Klingons to stop.
Yeah.
And if she tells the Klingon, obviously, I guess it's a Federation pad, but she could have escaped Discovery and put it there. If she says the Federation planted this device, then she looked weak because they gave her the, There's a serious weird, convoluted. It doesn't properly connect.
Yeah.
And it as we've said in our review, it's symptomatic of the entire season's flaws. This episode is a full rundown of what this season, this show does poorly, and what can do well. And as I said before, I'm excited for season 2 because they can properly write it with time and energy and budget, because they, I'm sure they'll get more budget, and I'm sure they'll have to spend it on the same set so they can put more into the show.
Yeah. So, I guess that's it for the discussion. I mean, what do you guys think about the piece? Like, did you think it was very rushed in the last episode? Do you think it fell in line nicely? As always, we love hearing your thoughts and comments down below. But if you want to see more videos like this, because we're going to talk about the Ash and Tyler, the Rel going off with Ash Tyler, we're going to talk about that in a separate video because that's worth its own thing. If you want to see more of stuff like that, you can definitely do so by hitting subscribe. Don't forget to like the video, share it around with anybody you think would enjoy it and want to debate with us, because no matter what we say, people are going to argue with us. So,
but we're just trying to be honest and neutral-ish and call out the good. And celebrate. Well, call out the bad and celebrate the good.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. And if you want to support us on Patreon, then please do. Trekyard or one-time donation at trekyards@hotmail.com. Wow, we give that a lot, but we. Anyway, so support us on the two ways.
Trekyards.com, not hotmail.com.
I'm gonna start again. Or you can support us on Patreon. Patreon/Trekyards. Give a little bit each and every month. A one-time donation at trekyards.com. Big donate button. Click that. Put an amount, goes to our PayPal, but it's our expenses account, and pays for cool things we can do and add.
That's right. So until next time, guys, keep the peace.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.